So on your application form, you're likely to see a question like, why do you want to pursue a career in commercial law? Or why are you interested in a career at a corporate law firm? Or something like that. But essentially what these questions are asking is why commercial law? So I'm hopefully going to be able to give you a bit of a framework and a bit of an understanding as to how you can approach this question. The first thing you'll want to do is think about why a law firm might be asking this question. And once you've understood what they're looking for and what makes up a strong answer, then you can check for that in your own answer and see if you've ticked those boxes. So the first major thing that a law firm will be looking for in your answer to this question is that you can demonstrate that you know what a commercial law firm does. So you'll see that the question is asking you why commercial law. It's not asking you why banking or consulting or any other city career. So in your answer, you're going to have to demonstrate that you understand what a commercial law firm specifically does. If you give an answer that's too generic that could be applied to banking or consulting or something else, you need to make it more specific. The second major thing that a law firm will be looking for in your answer to this question is that you can demonstrate your motivation for a career in commercial law. Law firms are looking for applicants who are going to stick around. If you think about it, law firm makes huge amounts of investments into its junior lawyers. A lot of the times they fund your GDLs and your LPCs, which already is tens of thousands of pounds that they've invested into you. But even if they don't cover those costs, during your training years, you're more likely to be a drain on their resources than a benefit. You'll be taking up the time of more senior lawyers and you're not going to be able to do a lot of the work and you're going to be learning a lot of new things. So it's really the years after that that you become an asset to that firm. So once you've understood that, you can see why they're looking for motivated lawyers who are likely to stick around for a long time. And the third thing you'll want to do in your answer to this question is tell your story. There's no model answer that you can give to this question that will impress a law firm. In answering this, you actually want to give the genuine reasons why you're drawn to a career in commercial law, which will be completely unique to yourself. Another benefit of giving the law firm the genuine reasons why you're interested in commercial law, as opposed to just telling them what you think they want to hear, is that you'll be able to build upon those answers in an interview or assessment day if you're asked about them later. There's a famous quote that goes, if you remember what you've There you go. If you tell the truth, you don't have to remember anything, by maybe Mark Twain. That's a really useful piece of advice for your application form. If you start to put in things that you think the law firm wants to hear as opposed to your genuine reasons, then when you're asked about it later on down the line in the interviews, you're going to be stuck trying to develop on that or explain it better. So those are the main three things you'll want in a really good answer. You'll want to demonstrate your understanding of commercial law, show your motivation, and tell your story. So now that we've highlighted what the law firm's looking for, let's go over a process that you can use to start preparing your answer. Before you start writing your answer to this question, you're going to need some stuff to talk about. So get a piece of paper and put 2 columns. Label the first column experiences and the second column commercial law link. In that first column, list all the things that you've done that make up your path into commercial law, and actually write this list. Remember, you don't have to be too narrow or too constrictive at this stage. Include anything that you can think of that you think might be relevant. We're just planning it right now. For example, in this column you can include jobs that you've worked, commercially relevant modules that you've studied at uni, open days or placements that you've attended, the law society that you might have been part of when you were at uni, networking you've done with a trainee or at a law fair, or any volunteering you might have done in the legal sector. Now in that second column, you'll want to explain how those experiences are relevant to commercial law. For some of these experiences, it might come much easier than the others, but that's good. This is a process where you can figure out which points you can cover more convincingly in your application answer. So for the examples I put down here, you can see how I think each of these link to commercial law. So once you finish this stage and you've figured out the experiences that you think are most relevant to commercial law, you're going to have to move on to writing a fully written answer. And after that, you'll want to check for those 3 things that we mentioned at the beginning. So now I'm going to go through a bit of an example of an answer that I'd give for this section. It's not a full answer and it might be a bit shorter than what you'd have to write depending on the word limits, but it will help you understand how you can go from that planning stage to the writing stage. So here I've written, commercial law is the point where legal and business interests collide. While practicing law requires an understanding of legal rules, commercial law appeals to me due to its clear business-focused approach. Working in our family restaurant business from a young age has led me to be commercial-minded. This mindset gives me the motivation to build relationships with corporate clients and understand their industry considerations before offering them practical legal solutions. So you can see in this paragraph, I might not have made it specifically relevant to commercial law, but I've hit on that commercial part. I've spoken about an experience that I have that has helped me develop my commercial mindset and understand how businesses work. As well as this, I've used this section to tell my story. By talking about the experience that I have working in the restaurant, hopefully I've hit on something unique that not every other applicant will have when writing their answers to this question. So that helps to set me apart and tell my story. If you've done that plan that we mentioned earlier, you can go through the experiences that you've listed there and try and highlight the unique ones that you think really set your application apart. And make sure you include those in your answer. In the next paragraph, I've written, at university, I was particularly drawn to subjects where the practical applications were clear. While studying company law and corporate insolvency law, my interest often motivated me to read beyond the limits of the curriculum. This is because I was excited to discover how this knowledge could be relevant in a commercial setting. So in this paragraph, I'm talking about the modules that I picked at uni and the fact that I picked the more commercially relevant ones. It shows that when I was given the option, I took the choice to pick the commercially relevant modules. And as I said in the answer, these are the ones that interested me a lot. And because I was interested in them, I ended up reading all the stuff that I needed to read for the module, as well as the further reading and even reading beyond that to kind of see how the stuff I was learning was relevant in the real world. So what this paragraph does is that it really clearly shows my motivation for a career in commercial law. In the final paragraph, I've written, having attended an open day at Firm X, I learnt more about the role of a commercial lawyer and the significance of the work of commercial law firms. Commercial lawyers must be both legal and business advisors. I'm drawn to the combined approach that is required to give workable legal advice against a commercial backdrop. So in this paragraph, I've tried to demonstrate that I understand what a commercial lawyer does. I've spoken about going to an open day and speaking to commercial lawyers and using that experience to develop my understanding of what a commercial law firm actually does. So this is a paragraph that you can clearly see is relevant to commercial law. I've spoken about going to a law firm. It's not something that you could use in an application for consulting or something else. As well as this, it also touches upon the motivation point that we spoke as well. By going to this open day, I've shown that it's not just a last minute idea that I thought that I'd apply for a job in law. I've actually tried to research it as best as I can. So you can see in the answer that I've given that I've ticked those 3 boxes. I've demonstrated an understanding of commercial law, I've shown my motivations, and I've told my story. So hopefully this video has helped you in answering this question when you come to it in your application forms. Before I finish off, I just wanted to go over one extra exercise that I think you should all do. Once you've finished writing your answer to this section, see if you can come up with a 2 or 3 sentence simple version of it that you can tell a friend to explain to them why you want to pursue a career in commercial law. Don't use any technical terms or any legal language. Just put it as simply as you can into 2 or 3 sentences in a way that you could tell a friend. Once you've practiced that and you've got that down, you've got yourself an interview-ready version of your answer to this question. It's quite common that your motivations for the role will come up in an interview down the line. And when it does, you'll be ready to kick off the conversation in the right way. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. Let me know by leaving a thumbs up or a thumbs down, and if you have enjoyed it, please consider subscribing. As always, I want to hear from you guys, so please do comment down below with your thoughts. I've also got an Instagram page as well where you can follow me, and a lot of the time I get my video ideas through messages that I get there. So please do message me about any topics that you want me to cover. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll catch you next time.